Well, thank you everyone for coming to set up a financial wellness workshop. Today's workshop is titled Budgeting Basics, but I like to call it Finding Your Journey. So I just kind of want to show you a headline in a Wall Street Journal article. It came out about maybe a year and a half, maybe 4 years ago, but it's still very prevalent today. And it has to do with the millennials as well as the Gen Z. It says that they're actually talking about how there's, like a some disconnect between money management and the generation. And if I just go down here, I saw this article about it says that many young adults are overwhelmed by financial stress caused by ignoring problems, and they call that financial illness. And so therefore, what it means is that um, they may have, you know, they don't get that credit card statement, but now they can see what their balances are. And so more than ever, the younger generation are actually racking up debt after debt. Whereas the older generation, yeah, they had the same problem too, but then they're not as bad. They're not avoiding. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping that by actually, on the end of this class, you'll kind of like help to kind of like avoid some of that anxiety, so that you can actually take, action, take control of your finances to help reduce some of that anxiety. So I like kind of planning a journey because life is a journey, is it not? I see. I certainly felt that was a journey, and I'm very glad related with my life as I'm retiring. As I'm nearing retirement. And so therefore, I'm actually looking at my finances from a very different perspective than I did when I was younger. Now, many of you guys I see some varying ages here, probably like early 20s too. I see maybe some more than that. And so therefore, you are all in your different life stages. But there are some certain basic principles that you can actually apply to your life so that you can plan your journey, so that you can, I don't know if the happiness is the right word, to maybe like maximize your happiness along the journey. And plus, managing money is not fun. How many of you guys agree with that statement? Yeah, it's not fun. I remember when I was younger, it wasn't very much fun, especially when I didn't have very much money. But I know that when I didn't have very much money, I realized that I really needed to actually take control of that even more because of the finances I had. And so I just want to like slice some of the statistics here. And this is the current state of Tacoma. So there's some of the sources I got from the Federal Reserve and some from like wallet price like that. I don't know everything all cited. But the consumer debt says that consumer debt exceeds $17 trillion. And that includes credit card, personal loans, etc., etc. And student loan debt exceeds $1.7 trillion. And we know that when you follow in school after you graduate, it really hampers your ability to actually save for other future goals, right? So therefore, we need to take control of those expenses. Affordability, um, later on, this morning, we're going to have somebody talk about how to, afford a home mortgage. Well, or we know that affordability is an issue these days. In Tacoma, as of end of last year, the average median home price in Tacoma is $50,000. I'm sorry, $500,000. I wish it was 50,000. Then I'd be buying it a lot. Okay, well anyway, it's $500,000. And as of end of last week, the average mortgage, 30-year mortgage was 7.1%. That's quite high, is it not? Yeah. With my mortgage is sub 3%, I was really lucky to actually get that, but I know those rates are just aren't available anymore. And also low savings rate, and like just kind of like gives you that tumble effect or that hopelessness, right? It says that many Americans don't have enough saved for retirement. They don't. Many households don't have emergency funds. Sounds pretty depressing, huh? But you know what? That doesn't have to be you. And in fact, I know like there's a lot of news out there that says that, this generation is still they're gonna be worse off than the parents' generation. Yeah, in a lot of sense, it is because the generations before, some the affordability wasn't, an issue because the wages to some level, kept up with the housing prices. But nowadays, I'm like, there's just such a great spread between the rising wages versus the just affordability issue. But at the same time, that student loan is kind of, spiraling. But it doesn't mean that, like that actually has to, have the ability to actually, have a very fulfilling life as well either. You just need a plan. And I believe that personal financial education is the key. I don't know how many of you guys have personal financial education before coming to college. I know a lot of the high schools are actually beginning to do that, or they have in the past 5, 10 years in some high schools. But if you haven't, what a great time to learn how to manage your money before you actually graduate and start making significant sums of money, right? And maybe some of you already have, some significant sums of money and you don't know what to do with that. And I believe that personal financial education is the key, and that's what we do here at the Center for Financial Wellness, is to hopefully, you can't teach you all the nuances, but basically give you the basic information, just enough information to kind of pique your interest so that you will take that information and learn something more so you can apply it to your own unique situations. Because my situations can be different from yours, it's going to be different from yours, and different from yours, because we're in different life stages, right? And at the same time, we don't make the same amount of money. We don't have similar type of expenses, etc. So, and I believe that just from all practical sense, budgeting is a very good place to start. And basically, what budgeting says is that, you know, do you know how you're accounting for every single dollar of the money that you earn? Well, how much do I earn? You'd be amazed that, I see a lot of videos on like YouTube because I'm a consumer personal financial information. Like some people will go out on the street and say like, how much do you make? We'd be amazed at how many people don't know how much they make on a monthly basis. That, oh, I don't know. I think about 2,000. I'm not really sure. You know what? We need to know how much money that we're actually taking in. And it's not just your salary. I mean, if you have salary, the steady income, that's great. But we know a lot of us also work part-time jobs that may not pay on a very regular basis. We may also have various side hustles. And there's nothing wrong with that to make extra income from side hustles. And also, if you're getting money from your parents, those are all sources of your income. And how about your student loan while you're in school? That's a source of income too. And so we want to account for all of that money. Okay? And the next thing that we want to do is we really need to understand our expenses. Again, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. People don't know how they're spending their money. We need to understand how we're spending our money. And we're going to talk about needs, wants, things like that a little bit later. But basically, the budgeting framework is that you have your income, which is your sources of money. You have your expenses, which is your, how you use your money. And then hopefully, we're going to teach you how to have purpose for that money. And so therefore, and the net of that is savings. And so is the savings our end goal? Absolutely not. I remember like when I was younger, I was just told to save, save, save. And like, okay, I save, that's enough. But then we know that's not enough, right? We're coming off a very high inflationary environment where our dollar doesn't go as much as it used to. So therefore, if you do have money left over, that's a good thing. And then keep it up, you're doing a good job. But if you don't, then maybe I need to work on my spending or work on my income side a little bit. But basically, we need to have, with that money, we need to do something with that. If I have debt, I want to make sure that I'm very aggressively paying off that debt because that is actually hindering me from actually building my wealth. Okay? And then I need to have some goals set up. I need to save for my retirement so that I don't become one of the statistics where I don't have enough for my retirement. I don't want to be a statistics when not having emergency funds. So if I have a flat tire, I can't come to school or like I can't go to work because I can't afford $400. And there are a lot of statistics out there like that. But the purpose of savings is that I want you to really think about investing. We really need to invest that money because we need to earn a return on our money that actually outpaces the inflation. And so therefore the whole point of saving is so that we could invest to increase our wealth. Everybody agree? Yeah, and so, I have a flyer at the end. We're gonna have an investment class. So I'm hoping that all of you guys can participate in that. Yeah. So let's get started. So, how many of you think that budgeting is boring? Wow, you guys love budgeting? How many of you guys have a budget? Okay, I'm curious. I hate budgeting. But I love spreadsheets. So I just like sometimes like in the middle, not in the middle of the night, but then like after, I turn everything off, I got to sit in bed. I used to have my laptop and my phone right next to me on my nightstand. I'll just like pop open my laptop. And my husband is a big spreadsheet geek too. And then like we'll just like start putting the numbers in and then I go, oh, okay, hey, we look good this month. Oh, look what's coming up. Okay, we better anticipate that. No, we do things like that. But at the same time, it's not fun tracking your every dollar, is it? Do you find that it's fun tracking your every dollar? Yeah, it's not that fun, right? How do you feel when you're doing that?
Just like kind of like, oh no, I'm running out. Oh, what's next? Am I gonna have enough for this bill and this here? And
Sometimes you could build anxiety, right? Yeah, and then if you're trying to figure out, oh my God, I just cut expenses. I don't know how I'm gonna meet this expense. I've been there, so I know what that feels like. And I've actually even done cash budgeting to make sure I have cash to like on a for a given month. I was actually managing my cash flow so that I don't fall below my bank balance and things like that. So I've been there and I know the type of anxiety that it actually produces. To the point that my husband could actually go and spend money, but I feel like I can't spend money because I know what I state of my finances look like. So in a way, if you're married or you have a significant other, uh, it sucks to the one who's actually, managing the budget as opposed to an individual who just asks you, honey, how are we doing? And you just give them a thumbs up. I think we're okay. Yeah. But then it's really good to actually talk about those things. Well, anyway, yeah, it's not that fun building a budget, but one thing you're gonna find out is that once you start going, it's very difficult getting started. But I guarantee you, once you have a system, so you find something and you have a system set up, you're gonna really enjoy looking at it and then like seeing your savings goal, just starting to inch towards that savings goal. It's actually quite exciting and you start creating other goals for yourself. And so how do I get started? There are basic information that you need. Maybe like 1 or 2 months of your bank statement. Why? Because we have some things that are, automatically deposited or like withdrawn from our bank statements, right? I mean, like, I know like my paycheck here automatically gets deposited into my bank account. My home mortgage gets automatically deducted from my bank account because I have it automated. I know that my credit card, I also have that automated as well. That gets deducted. But what the bank statement also shows is that it shows the frequency or the consistencies of the payments so that you could start, like jotting down, exactly what are my expenses. I'm like, what are my, sources of income? What are my uses of income? And a bank statement is a great place to start that. And how about credit card statements? How many of you guys try to charge as much as you can to your credit card? Yeah, I do too. Because I love those rewards. It's not for everyone. I'm going to let you know that it's not for everyone. If you're not paying off your credit card every month, that's not a good system to do. But I do pay off my credit card every month and I enjoy the rewards that I actually get from that. Like, for example, my Costco credit card. It's a great credit card. You get 4% back on gases and you get, I believe, 3% back on restaurants, right? Do you have it? And it's a 2% on every purchases that you get at Costco. Yeah. And then I try not to use it anywhere else because you're gonna get 1%, right? Yeah. There are great cash rewards that you can actually get. So and I like to maximize that. But again, um, you gotta pay off that balance every month. Because if you're paying late fees or interest, you're not working towards your goal. Okay. So basically, so for me, and if you're one of those individuals who put everything on your credit card, is, some of the credit cards that I have several, by the way, like they actually summarize transactions for you into different nice little neat categories. demographics. If not, you can look at all of your transactions in a month. Just grab like one or two, and you can and start listing. You know, like where am I spending money? You can see I went to Costco yesterday. I went to Costco the day before that. I went to Costco the day before that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to Costco way too much. Maybe I need to do something about that. And also pay special attention to like fees and interest charges. I mean, we want to try to minimize that as well too. Okay. And also pay attention to your credit limit and your credit utilization. Last quarter, we had a class on understanding your credit score and your credit report. Well, we know that we want to limit our credit utilization to 30% of our credit limit to actually maximize our credit score, right? And so we do want to pay attention to that as well too. And so like if you're not using your credit card, you know, like I think I have like $5 in my pocket or in my bag over there. You know, sometimes we have cash, right? Um, you know, where are you spending your cash on? Maybe it's a good idea to start a cash log. And then like if you're just starting out trying to get started on your budget, you know, just try to think about every place where you use your cash and start making a log and just write everything down. And so therefore, if you take your bank statement, your credit card statement, and just your cash logs. Oh, one other thing, I also want you to look at your pay stub because or like or like any kind of like payment information that you got. That's what I work because we're gonna need that information as well to actually build our budget. Okay. And so I want you to gather all of this information. And if you get like, if you don't have two, you know, if 2 months is too much, 1 month is fine. I like to look at 2 to 3 months. You get a fairly good idea of like, you know, how much money you're bringing in and how much money is going out. And also if there are, you know, like insurance payments that don't happen on a regular basis, maybe you might be able to capture some of that information as well too. And another thing that I really like about Thanksgiving as a credit cards is that those you know, like recurring subscriptions. How many of you guys have recurring subscriptions? How many of you guys have a recurring subscription that's been withdrawn from your account that you don't use? Yeah, you know, I had to have my son cancel one.
And then you don't know like how to cancel it, say make it super hard, you have to like mail them a letter or something.
Is that how it works?
Some of them.
Okay, okay. I think like I saw a commercial or like something that said Equifax will help you cancel your recurring subscriptions or something. Any of you guys heard of that? Yeah, so it's, I'm kind of curious to try that. I know that like my husband was reviewing my son's bank account. He's 30 years old. He's trying to access to his bank account. He allows us. Okay. Well, anyway, we noticed that like $10 gets deducted every month, periodic, you know, every single month. And we asked him, what is that? He said, oh, that's a Crunchyroll subscription. Anybody know what a Crunchyroll is? What is it?
It's like anime.
Yeah, it's anime. He used to watch it when he was in like college, and he's 30 years old now. Yeah, so you know what? There are little things that you can find in there. Yeah, and so like they would pick a note of those things, and you know, I know it's a pain in the butt trying to figure out how to cancel those. Something you know, just take your time because $10 a month is not this $120 a year, right? $120. I could go out for a nice Valentine's meal with my husband. I think. I don't want to eat that these days because it's so expensive. Well, anyway, and so this is how you start. Now let's talk about different budgeting methods. Wow, there are a lot of different budgeting methods out there. 50, 30, 20 rule. I love that budgeting method. It's very simple. It basically says that 50% should go towards your needs, 30% should go towards your wants, and 20% should go towards your savings goal. And so, what are my needs? Well, I need a roof over my head. I like to stay dry and comfy with a place to sleep. I need a car because I can't take the bus to here because bus service doesn't run where I live. And so, to me, that's a need. What else is a need? I think for me, parking is a need, so I buy parking, but that necessarily may not be a need, right? And in fact, I buy parking very close to the campus, so I don't have to walk very far. What are some other needs? Like I need to eat, right? That's a need, so my grocery bills. And what are some of the one? Oh, actually, my cell phone is a need. I actually need that. I mean, maybe like 10 years ago, maybe it might not have been a need for certain individuals, but these days, our cell phone is a need, is it not? Yeah, we can't live without our cell phone. And 30% goes towards your wants. well, that could be like your Netflix subscription, right? I think it's a need because I don't go to the movies, so I need my Netflix. But I mean, you could categorize it any way you want. Um, what are some other needs? I mean, other wants, do you think?
Travel.
Huh?
Travel.
Travel, absolutely. Travel, yeah, absolutely. And how about getting your hair cut? Is that a need or a want? I categorize it as a want. I categorize it as a need because I do need to appear a certain way. But do I need $100 haircut? No, I could find somewhere worth $50, right? And so it could be a need or a want depending on how you categorize it. And then 20 is your savings goal. Like your travel, you like to travel, you could, like you could save towards that goal. I could save towards my emergency fund. If I want to be out of student debt, I could do a snowball effect and take whatever that is left over and just like apply it all to my debt so that I could be done with my debt, right? Things like that. And also saving for retirement, etc. Now, and so you kind of get the idea, and like even for that housing, if I'm a single individual, I'm 24 years old. I'm a single individual. I mean, does a rent of $3,000 make sense for me if I'm only making $75,000 a year? Probably not, right? Yeah, it's a need, but I know that there's a lot of want built in there, right? Like I don't need a 2-bedroom. I don't need, this and that. I don't need to pay like $500 HOA every month, etc. So therefore, even within the need category, we could work with that a little bit, okay? So therefore, you don't want to you don't want to handcuff yourself so that you pay so much for your housing that you don't have anything for anything else. Because, like I said in the beginning, you want to lead a happy life, right? Whatever happy means to you. Okay. Zero budgeting system. Zero budgeting system is really great because you give a purpose to every single dollar that you bring in. And so therefore, you're going to categorize that to every single category so that every single dollar has a purpose. Okay. Envelope system. This is great for individuals who have a hard time really reining in their wants, such as like eating out, having, DoorDash deliveries, or like maybe like, other things, like, I mean, you have all these wants, okay? And then for those individuals, envelope system budgeting is actually terrific because you're actually taking that cash and you're stuffing it in an envelope. And when that envelope is empty, guess what they've done? So, and then there are variations of that way too. Pay yourself first. Warren Buffett is huge about this. It's like the traditional, budgeting is income minus less savings, right? He likes to think of it as income minus savings equals whatever that is left over is basically a way you get to live. And so therefore, he's prioritizing saving, paying yourself first, rather than taking the leftover towards your savings goal. And so, and there are many other budgeting methods out there. You could Google them, you could go to your favorite AI, and they'll give you, I mean, if you ask them a detailed enough, detailed enough questions, if you present those parameters, you'll even help you set up some sort of like a system for you. However, whatever you use, you know, try it out. Like maybe first time you may start with, zero-based budgeting. It's like, that's too cumbersome for me. I can't do that. I'm going to try something else. You just try out different things until you find something that actually fits you. Because not everybody is in different stages in life. Some of you guys are students. Some of you guys might be one professional, young professionals who are also going to school at the same time as you guys are here. And maybe you guys have family, and maybe you have children. And so therefore, we're all in different life stages, and also the type of expenses are going to be related. We have some challenges, right? If you're a student, we have limited income. Young professionals, as soon as they graduate, I don't know anybody who doesn't have student loan unless their parents are extremely wealthy, and they pay for it. We have some other expenses, like for example, if I'm a young professional, I just graduated, I'm going to look professional. I'm not going to go to my workplace in like a sweatpants and a sweatshirt, right? I need to look presentable, so I'm going to spend some money making sure that I do look presentable. Maybe I might get the $100 haircut. I don't know, probably not, but I don't know. Yeah, and also networking is very, very important when you're figuring out in your career, not just beginning out in your career, but throughout your career. Networking is very important. I know this is a budgeting class, but one story that I tell some of my students is that only job that I ever really interviewed for was my first job out of college. Thereafter, all the other positions that I got, it was through networking. I reached out to somebody. If I wanted to be in a certain industry or a certain position or a certain, like a certain job, I actually seeked out individuals who are already doing that job, and I asked them and I talked, I just basically called and say, hey, can I talk to you? And then at the end, I was in it, like, how would I get into something like this? I'm really interested. Do you have any recommendation? Could you connect me with someone? And sure enough, those connections always ended up, I would always, maybe like 95% of the time, ended up in a position which I ended up interviewing for in any job. Well, not really interviewing, because the individual feels so impressed with you that they'll recommend you, hey, I'm going to talk to this person and I'm going to talk to them, letting them know that I'm sending you. And then therefore, guess what? The interview is pretty much in like 5 minutes. That's it. So when can you start? Okay. And you know, with COVID and everything, I know like a lot of the networking slide out a little bit, but then I'm gonna honest with you, networking is very, very important. Put yourself out there. Okay? And so therefore, I need some expenses related to that speaking because I need to look a certain part, I need to go to certain events because I need to meet people. And if you're family, whatever your expenses you were when you were younger, it's going to be much higher than that when you have a family. How many of you guys have family, have kids? It's much higher, is it not? Because like you have to think about childcare expenses now, right? Those
I'm
things
so
are.
glad I don't have kids to think.
Yeah, I think like one child could cost anywhere in the upwards of $5,000, right? Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. And I put childcare there. I know what that was like because I had 2 young kids when I was younger, and I was putting them also in childcare too. And sometimes I had to make a decision. It's like, okay, I make this much, and I give the childcare this much. Is it worth it for me to work? I had to like make those decisions as well too because they're so expensive. But just like what it says here, experiment with what works for you. If you're tech savvy, there are many budgeting apps out there. Okay. Like there's like human capital, another personal capital, like I'm not sure if Mint still have that. I think Mint might have gotten bought out by somebody, but or like there are many other apps out there. I'm gonna say that I'm not that familiar with it because I don't like personally. I'm not very tech savvy, and in fact, I had IT individuals in my office just today, uh, because I couldn't update Microsoft Teams. I don't know why. I just couldn't update. I just click a button and update. He finished it in like less than 5 minutes. But I'm not very tech savvy. And another thing, a lot of these budgeting apps ask you to link your personal bank accounts and financial accounts to these apps. And I'm somebody with a lot of skepticism. I don't like linking my too many things to some third party, that's going to have all my information. So I'm very skeptical. And plus, um, besides the fact that I'm not tech savvy, I'm a very visual person. I like to see things. I like to be able to, see, touch, and to be able to manipulate it myself. So for me, personally, spreadsheets works very well for me. And in fact, spreadsheets these days are so savvy that when you could just like highlight a column and create like a chart or something to show that whether you're meeting your goals or not. So my preference is spreadsheet. But um, but every once in a while, I still have, actually not every once in a while, I still keep a budget tracking book. I actually have one in my office. And like sometimes I run on, as I'm working, I just feel like I just need to have a mental break. I just take my budgeting book out and I just start writing things down. So, okay, let's see how we're doing. I know I have a spreadsheet, but I just want to kind of like plan things out. So I actually have a budgeting book. And so we have some budget books here, which we'd like to give out to the individuals. All this and decide how you're going to distribute this. And so, and if you're a minimalist, you don't like to spend too much time doing that. Like I said, 50-30-20 rule is a terrific way of doing it because you only have 3 buckets that you have to fill in. And I remember, like when my kids were younger, They used to get a lot of money, for like birthdays or Christmas or like New Year's and things like that. And they just have three buckets. They actually got it from BECU, Boarding and Quick Credit Union. They had this little thing with like three buckets where you can like put things in. One of them was to spend, and the other one was to save, and the other one was to donate. And I had my kids split whatever they got into thirds and just stick it in those things. And it's amazing how much they saved up. And in fact, once like we were going to like Disneyland or something, and like I don't like, I mean, I like spending money on my kids, but I don't like buying things that's gonna come back and be a garbage. But at the same time, I have a hard time saying no to my kids. Guess what? I just told them to grab that box, grab that bucket that says spend. And they brought that with them. And I was shocked at how much was in there. Over a period of time, it really adds up. And so in the same way, 50, 30, 20 is a great system. It's just buckets. That's all it is, just put this in a bucket. Yeah. So before we move any further, I want to show you a sample budget that I created for a typical 24-year-old. And I'm trying to look back to when I was 24 years old. So if I get it wrong, please forgive me. Okay. So what did I do? I love spreadsheets. I'm going to show you a typical budget for a 24-year-old. Okay. So I have this sample annual budget. How did I get this? In your thing. Like when I was younger, before all these like templates were built and everything, I actually used to create these spreadsheets myself. And in fact, I love spreadsheets because I did that as a profession back then. So when I felt that I was pretty savvy. But nowadays, I just have other interests and I'm not interested in creating my own template. So I just go and just grab something that's already out there. How do I do that? I could just say Google Sheets and there's a template right there. And what did I grab? Under general, I grabbed two things. Under personal, I grabbed the annual budget and the monthly budget, and that's what they are. Yeah. And so here's the sample annual budget and the sample monthly budget. And what did I do? First tab, it tells you, what's your starting balance? Well, I like to keep a running balance of $2,500 in my bank account. And so I just put in $2,500 as my starting balance. And then I started building my budget. Do I need to stay away from this area a little bit?
It's just the speaker up right above you that you're walking in front of.
Okay. So if I go here, it's okay?
Yes.
Perfect. And then, I'm going to start with the income. Let's say that, like average salary that, I think like college graduate makes is like 65, 70. But you know what? I'm special. So I'm going to make $75,000, okay? And if you're a computer science major, I don't know if you have computer science majors here, you're going to be earning more than that. And so, or like if you're another major, you're going to be earning less than that. So it really depends. So I'm going to put in my paycheck information. But what kind of income am I going to put in? Yes, I make $75,000, but I know that my net pay is way below that, right? It says here that my monthly income turns out to 6,250. Well, guess what? My company gives 401k matching at 4%. But I want to do more than that because I want to be really aggressive with my retirement. So I put in an extra beyond 4%, but I know that first 4% is going to be matched 20%. I don't have to pay Social Security tax, Medicare tax, federal withholding. I'm going to get a 22% tax bracket. I know I'm going to have to share in the premium cost of my health as a state tax. So my net pay is going to be 49K. And I came up with the taxes. I'm a spreadsheet geek. I'm sorry. And so I even calculated what my tax, what I'm going to be using the tax brackets. Okay? But you don't have to go to that detail because if you have your pay stub, that'll tell you all that information, right? And it'll you know what your net pay is. But I know exactly, like where that every single dollar of that paycheck is going. And so therefore I put in my information and I'm going to be making $59,137 in 1 year as my net pay, assuming that I don't get any bonuses, I don't get any raises, nothing. And then I'm going to put in all my expenses. And I just pretty much use my categories that were already given me, but I know I can customize all of these. And so therefore, for debt, let's say like I have a student loan right here in the amortization schedule. I also grabbed it from a template. Let's say I graduated with a $43,000 debt. I'm going to pay it off in 10 years and my interest rate is 7% on that loan. Is 7% realistic? I'm not sure. It's been a while since I borrowed money. Okay. Well, anyway, let's do that. And then so for that comes up to $500 a month. So I have that in here. And then I'm gonna do my groceries, restaurant, and these are my everyday expenses. This is the way I chose to categorize them. You could choose to categorize it any way you want. I know that I am a very good manager on my credit card, and I put everything on my credit card as much as possible because I like those cashback rewards. I like the travel rewards, etc., etc. So I put everything on my credit card. So everything that I put on my credit card, I just list everything under there. Okay, and I know I can update that. And so therefore, all of these things like haircut, I said I'm gonna get a haircut every other month, etc. Okay, and then activities. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go out to eat $100 $100 a month. I think that's reasonable. Because I like to have a social life, but I also like to, enjoy myself because it's not about, constrain yourself so much to the point that you're not enjoying your life, right? It's like whatever your hobby is, whether it's golf, tennis, I'm not sure what the hobbies are out there because those are the ones that I do. Whatever your hobby is, enjoy your life. Invest in those things as well too. Okay. And then I drive an EV, so I have no gas expense, but I know that I have to account for insurance, and that doesn't happen every month, but I pay every 6 months. I'm going to account for that. And I pay $80 a month here for parking. And then I subscribe to Amazon, Netflix, and Apple TV. I'm not sure if these are realistic numbers or not, because my T-Mobile cell phone gives me free Netflix. So, but I think that's about how much it costs. I'm not sure. And also Apple TV, I get that free too. So through my credit card. So well, and like I said, there are benefits if you know how to use your credit card very wisely. For me, charity is very important for me. I would love to give 10% to my church. But if not, like maybe that's not a goal that I have. I would love to work towards that goal, but maybe I'm gonna get 5%. So therefore I did that. And as you can see, I have some gifts spread out throughout because I know I have birthdays that are gonna be coming up in certain months with people who are very important to me. So I wanna account for everything. And I know for Christmas I'm gonna spend a little bit more. Okay, and I'm gonna have my annual checkup and maybe like get my eyes examined. I said at the beginning of the year, so I can do that too. Everything else should be covered by my insurance. And here's my rent. I said I live in a house and I share my house with a roommate, so that's half of that. Okay, and then my housing cost is a lot, and I also make some contingency, maybe $50 a month. I'm not sure what it's gonna be there. And here's my phone, internet, electricity, as well as other things. And so finally, I'm coming to my savings goal right here. What do I want to do? I know that I don't want to become a statistic where I don't have enough saving for retirement. I don't want to have to work so hard and then by the time I'm 55 or 60, that I want to retire, I want to travel, but I don't have enough money because that's one of my life goals to be able to, retire sooner and to travel. So therefore, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I'm in a lower income bracket and I'm going to aggressively invest in Roth IRA. And I'll show you what that will look like later on at your full retirement age. So I'm going to put $500 a month away on that. And Roth IRA is something that you put in after tax, but, but it's a great vehicle because all the return that you get, you earn tax free. And when you take the money out, you take it out tax free. And so therefore, if you can't do 500, if I can't do 500, I'm gonna make sure I put something towards that. Because like once I reach that, that income limit, I know that I won't be able to contribute to Roth anymore. So therefore, I'm gonna try to maximize that as much as possible. And I hate having debt. And so I'm gonna take the snowball effect and I'm just gonna just pay down that student loan as fast as I can. Yes, I'm making $500 a month already, but I'm gonna make additional $500 a month. Yeah, I do want to save for a home for a down payment, but right now that's not my priority because I want to be out of that debt. Because when I don't have that student debt, I know it's gonna make my ratios look better too later on when it comes to actually buy a house. And emergency fund, I want to start building on that. $50, $80, $100 vacation fund. I like living a happy life. So, I like to take at least 1 or 2 vacations a year. So I'm gonna budget for that. I'm gonna save for that upfront so that when I put all my expenses on the credit card, I have enough funds to actually pay that off. And so this is what my budget looks like. Let's see what the summary looks like. Okay. Here you see the 50-30, the goal is 50-30-20. I'm not quite there. My needs are at 54%, my want is 18%, my savings is 27%. Should I revise my budget? What do you guys think? I'm okay with this, personally. Yeah, I think I'm doing pretty terrific because I know that I have additional money that I'm like aggressively putting towards the savings goal. And I have like $287 that's not categorized. Um, I know that this could come down a little bit because I know my charity, I classify that as a need rather than as a want. Because for me, that's very important. That's the therefore. And if I probably take that out, that probably went up to 50%. Okay. Yeah, it's not perfectly 50-30-20, but I'm okay with that. And if your income is very limited, maybe your ratio should be 60-20-20 or like maybe 70-20-10, okay? But I mean, these are just guidelines. There's no hard and fast rule that you have to like meet those. But then do what's right for you. For me personally, yeah, this is okay for me. Okay. And the one thing that I really like about spreadsheet is that I could put different scenarios in there. But here's another one. I actually tie the monthly budget to that annual budget. And look, I could put in my transactions here. I put in some sample transactions. It's like, and I just listed on January 10th, I got my paycheck. And on January 1, I paid rent, da 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 da. I just start writing down everything. And like maybe like 114, I also, went out to eat. I went to Husky store again and I spent, oh, I don't want to spend $20 there. Okay, I spent $10. And then I spent time on eating out. And these templates are actually really good because like whatever that you put in your budget, it actually creates all these things for you. I mean, some very smart people created these templates. And I know that when I go to my summary, it tells me what I'm doing. I know that I started off with a balance of 2,500. And it tells me that what my ending balance is right now. I have $2,100 in my ending balance right now. And so, I think I'm doing okay. I'm not running out of money. And so therefore, it tells me what my planned expenses, what my planned income is. And it tells me how I'm doing against that. And it categorizes and it tells me how much I have left in each category. Budgeting apps are great. They could do all this. But like I said, I'm a very visual person. I like to actually feel and touch what I do. And how about that loan? Right now, I'm putting additional $500 to that loan because I don't like debt. I grabbed this from the internet too, and I said, give me a loan amortization schedule for a Google Sheets. And this is why I put that you could give over Excel, etc., etc. I played around with it and it's great. And so if I were to pay this $43,000 loan in full, it's gonna cost me estimated $60,000. And of that, almost $17,000 is gonna be in interest. By actually, and it's gonna take me 10 years to pay that off. By actually doing that, making that $500 extra payment, I could actually save quite a bit. I save over 5 years. It's like after 5 years, I can take all of that money, $1,000, and I can start putting it towards that other goal of maybe saving for a down payment on a home or some other things. Because now I have that extra $1,000 that I could actually use. Like, and probably by then my income would have went up anyway in 5 years. I hope my income went up, right? Yeah, and so therefore, and then look how much interest I saved. I saved $10,000 in interest, which represents 70%. And so therefore, I like things like this, and I like playing around with different scenarios. Listen to like this month, maybe like somewhere along the line this month, I'm gonna have maybe like maybe I started driving for like an Uber or like a Lyft or something, right? I'm gonna have extra money, so maybe I'm gonna have $1,000 towards that, and then you can see how your budget changes. Okay, so I like to play with different scenarios. And so that's budget. And yeah, it does take a little bit of time, and everything does take a little bit of time. Everything, nothing happens automatically. Um, But we have to think of some saving strategies, right? So I'm not sure what kind of saving strategies you guys have used in the past, but here's some tried and true strategies that people talk about. One, make it automatic. If you have credit card payments, make it automatic. Make sure you pay out that balance in full. You have, subscriptions, make it subscriptions very easy, make it automatic, almost too easy, right? Okay. But then what you want to do is that you don't want to pay any late fees and interest. That's just wasting money. That's like you're spending like $100 a month, like paying late fees and or like whatever. That's money that you could put towards your future. And so you don't want to be doing that. Save those non-routine sources of income and put it towards your goals. And also, pick a costly habit. What's your costly habit? I'll share mine. I mindlessly thumb through Amazon to see if there's something that I need. I really don't need anything, but I just get shocked when I look at the list of things that I bought over the year and like some of the things that I don't even use anymore. I did that a lot in December. And last year, I bought 3 pairs of golf shoes. I can't wear all 3 of them at once. And so I don't know, I just do those mindlessly. And so that's my costly habit. I don't know what your costly habit is, but we all have a very costly habit. Try to kick that. And also review your spending for those leaks, not the subscriptions that you don't use anymore. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay. I think I talked too much. But then, because I need to get the time. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to try to wrap up in 5 minutes. But so I'm going to go through some things really quick. But it's not just expenses that you have to look at, trying to live for savings. You really have to try to increase your income potential. You cannot create wealth just by trimming down your expenses. You have to create, you have to figure out a way of making more money. And the fact that you guys are here at school is a good thing. But just because you're in college does not guarantee that you're going to have that $75,000, that $100,000 job waiting for you. You gotta put in the work. Just like budgeting, you gotta put in the work. Even at school, you gotta put in the work. Because if you do put in the work, and also you do get that job, well, guess what? It says that human capital is your ability and willingness to work, learn, earn, and make wise decisions about how to save and invest money. The more we learn, more we become employable. More we become valuable. Our wealth in the beginning, early in your career, it's going to be very tiny. But as you continue in your career, your wealth is going to build because of good habits. Here's some great quotes. I have some other things such as compounding interest in there, but then maybe we'll talk about that when it comes to investing series. But I'm going to finish with these quotes here. It says that budgeting is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. I swear in December, I did not know where all my money went because I was buying so many things off of Amazon. Okay. And so these are those leaks and they're very dangerous. And it's just beware of small expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship. My husband doesn't believe in that. He said, you know what? Little expenses here and there, it really doesn't matter. I think it matters. He and I are the very opposite spectrum of that. He believes in looking out for the big stuff. Well, he can look out for the big stuff. I'm gonna look out for the little stuff. So I feel like we're actually, both of us together, we're actually a good team. Okay. And so savings is not about restricting yourself, it's about controlling your impulses. And I believe that when you have your expenses categorized into certain things, it's not impulse anymore, right? Yeah, because you're gonna have purpose for every dollar that you have. And finally, he says that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. That has to do with investing. You gotta invest early. You gotta start saving and invest early because of compounding interest. Dude, I had all of that really. Here's a slide. This is somebody who started investing when they were 24 years old, put in $2,000 a year every year for like the next 12 years. Look at what that balance grew to, over $1 million. They stopped investing after the first 12 years. Well, the second individual didn't start investing until she was 35. I mean, the other individual started investing here, but this individual started investing here. And that person did invest for 12 years. They continuously invested until the full retirement age of 67. Now look at what their balance is. It's less than $500,000. So compounding interest is the real thing. And so I do want you guys to, be aware of that. And so there's some other slides that I also brought about where I should store my savings. It really depends on your time horizon and your risk tolerance. And so hopefully since I didn't get a chance to cover it, hopefully we'll get a chance to cover that in my investing series classes. And so, if you have cash, high yield savings account, CDs, those are great places to put your money, like if you're not using it currently. But I do encourage you to sign up for this class. It's investment intelligence, learn how to invest and build wealth. He is such a champion when it comes to personal financial health. And he's sharing his over 35 plus years of experience. He's actually bringing it here to our campus. It's in 4 parts, 2 hours each part. It's on Thursdays on January 23rd, 30th, February 6th, and 13th from 3:30 to 5:30. So hopefully it doesn't coincide with any of your classes. And last year we did this over 8 weeks, 1 hour each, but we found that 1 hour wasn't enough. And so we're doing it 2 hours. So when you guys make an investment, we can have a chance to actually talk about some of your investments, why something is working and also why something didn't, and also look at some of your strategies as well too. And so that's what we're gonna do. And you're gonna learn everything about how to invest. And this one, if you're looking to buy a home buyer, I didn't go through any financial ratios because I ran out of time. There are certain ratios that are very important to actually get yourself ready to actually qualify for a loan. And I'm really excited to actually announce a new thing that is happening this year, hopefully by end of January, is if you guys have any questions, anything about personal finance, please don't hesitate to, ask me. If you don't feel comfortable asking me or any of our presenters, we created a site that's called Ask Dan Anything. Dan Wickens is a former MSB alumni. He's an author, personal financial advisor, and he lives in the area. And he has graciously, donated his time to answer any of your questions, and everything will be anonymous. Just type in ask Dan anything at u.edu, and then you'll get a response. I'm not sure what the response time's gonna be, but then you'll get a response, right, Sally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have a website
Mhm.
dedicated to Dan. He has presented at UWT before, and he was like the ASA president back in the day when he was a student. And he loves giving financial advice. So he did write a book recently about his personal journey with finance and health and wellness. And so he's agreed to answer questions in his spare time.
Yes.
So
So that's really, really exciting. And so, I'm always available to ask too. I certainly had a journey, and, Dan, he says that he always meets his financial goals. I could guarantee you that I missed a lot of financial goals. I told him that you don't want to pay late fees and interest. Guess what? I paid a lot of late fees and interest because I was so irresponsible. And to top that off, both my husband and I were finance majors, and we still didn't know how to manage our money. And so don't feel embarrassed about anything. I probably made more mistakes than all of you guys combined. But I learned, and that's the thing. We want you to learn so that you can take control of your finances so that you don't become a business. So that's all.